certainly not the story of a king. This is certainly not the story of victory. This is certainly not the story that we have come to hear. The story of the Savior of the world, dead, lying in a tomb, sealed and put away. This is not the story that we have come to hear. And like you, I wonder, who is this one? Who is this one that is dead? I thought that he was coming to give life. I thought that he was coming to restore hope to the world. I thought that he was coming to forgive sins and to grant not just the world, but you and I new life. Yet we hear that he's laid in the tomb. A stone rolled in front of him. I ask with you today, who is this one? Who is this one? Have you ever been there and you've wondered for yourself whether it's been a good thing or a bad thing? Did I just do that? Did I really just do that? I went golfing last night, in fact, for the first time this year. And I had one incredible shot. All you need is one good shot to get you back for the next round. I'm going to say that I was on number 12. I don't know what hole it was. But there was a little bit of water, and I had to clear the water. And there was a lot of sand on either side of the green. And I was, maybe about 120 yards away. Do you remember this shot, Sean? You don't. But imagine, you gotta just shape the shot just perfect so that it lands just exactly where you need it to go. And you think, all right, so far this round, no ball has landed where I have wanted it to go. But this is gonna be it. About 120 yards to the green, both sides of the green, bunkers on either side, over the water. Do my little waggle thing, because that's what you gotta do. And you hit it. And you're like, how did that happen? I mean, imagine that I actually hit the shot that I was supposed to hit. Some of you have been there, and you're like, how did that happen? And you wonder, so far this round I have done terrible, and this shot went exactly where I needed it to go. This was it, and I wonder, sometimes I exclaim to myself, who is this guy? How did I do that? What just happened that it all came together? Now, if you've ever golfed with me, you know that I very rarely have those kinds of shots. But every once in a while I wonder, who is this guy? How did that happen? A couple of weeks ago on a Sunday, it was a warm Sunday afternoon, and our children were begging us to set up the trampoline in their backyard, right? Middle of March. And I thought, it's warm. Let's set up the trampoline. Well, that's a silly idea. But after like an hour and a half, and I had my neighbor had to come over and help me set up the trampoline, we had to get the poles just right, we had to figure out which springs are supposed to go where in the trampoline. We were finally jumping on the trampoline. Monday afternoon, after my son came home from school, I was so excited. We went out, we jumped on the trampoline, we did something really silly. We brought our dog, Bailey, up onto the trampoline, which was like, she was like, I don't want any part of this. But we were jumping on the trampoline, we were having time for like 3:30 in the afternoon. And then 5:30, this microburst comes through Norwalk. It was all kinds of rain. And there was all kinds of wind, too. I can prove it because KCCI had a little article about a bunch of trees that got knocked down on Willow Creek. But 5:30 in the afternoon, getting ready for dinner, and all of a sudden I see this trampoline flying through our backyard. And we got out to the road. We were holding on to the trampoline that was in the middle of the road. It was all bent up. And there was lightning flashing around it. My wife came and we were holding on to this metal. That wasn't smart. Trampoline. We pulled it back in. We had to get in shelter. And I thought, I knew better than to set up that trampoline in the middle of March in Des Moines, Iowa, right? Why would you do something like that? Who do I think that I am that I can cheat the weather, that I can cheat the spring storms, that this would work? And I thought, why did I do that? Did I just do that? Okay, first. Have you ever received a paper back or a test back from a teacher? Jeff, I'm sure this happens to you all the time in school. You receive a paper back and it says, like, there's gold stars all up. You still get gold stars in Drake, don't you? You get a paper back from a teacher, you get a report back from the boss, marked up, and it says, this is really, really good work. 100%. Way to go. Gold stars all over the paper. And you look up at the paper and you say, is my name really on that? Did I really just do that? Is it really as good as I thought it was going to be? Did I just do that? I love Peter, the disciple. Peter is a bold disciple. I relate well with Peter because Peter often puts his foot in his mouth. But Peter boldly confesses his faith. And I want to be like Peter. Especially this week, I want to be that bold disciple, that bold follower of Jesus who confesses who Jesus is in my life and in the world. Let me take you through just a couple of the highlights and lowlights of Peter's confessions. The first is from Mark chapter 8. Jesus went on with his disciples to the village of Caesarea Philippi, and on the way he asked his disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" They answered, "John the Baptist, others Elijah, still others, one of the prophets." He asked somebody, "Who do you say that I am?" Peter answered him. What does he say?
"You are the Messiah."
Boldly, you are the Messiah. I want to be like Peter, who boldly confesses, you are the anointed one. You are the one that is coming into the world to restore hope, to forgive sins, to usher in a new age. I pray that this week I could be like just half of Peter. You are the Messiah. A couple of chapters later, Mark 14, sung a hymn. They went out to the Mount of Olives. Jesus said to them, "You will all become deserters, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered. But after I'm raised up, I will go before you to Galilee." Peter said to them, "Even though all become deserters, I will not." Jesus said to him, "Truly, I tell you, this day, this very night, before the cock crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. But he said vehemently, "Even though I must die with you, I will not deny you." I want to be like Peter. I want to boldly confess and then live out that faith. But it's interesting. Just a couple of verses later, and I think I put just like, is there just one slide here? Mm-hmm. I think I missed the last slide. And just a couple of verses later in Mark 14, Peter was below in the courtyard when the servant girls of the high priest came. When she saw Peter warming himself, she stared at him and said, "You also were with Jesus, the man from Nazareth." But he denied it. "I don't know or understand what you're talking about." Went under the forecourt and the cock crowed. And the servant girl, on seeing him again, began to say to the bystanders, "This man is one of them." But again, he denied it. Then after a little while the bystanders again said to Peter, "Certainly you are one of them, for you are a Galilean." But he began to curse, and he swore an oath, "I do not know this man that you are talking about." And the cock crows again. And Peter goes out and weeps bitterly. I want to be like Peter. But I also confess with Peter that I don't know this man, Jesus, who comes into Jerusalem riding on a donkey, on a little animal. I've been on a donkey, and it stopped walking after I got on it. It probably says more about this than anything else. But Jesus, the Savior of the world, enters into Jerusalem on a donkey. People are crying out, "Hosanna," which means he saves. This is the one who is coming to usher in a new world and a new hope and a new life for us. And how quickly, in just a few chapters, that one that has come to restore hope and restore life to the world is dead. And I, like Peter, confess, I don't know this man. You see, it's the centurion that finally gets it in Mark's gospel. This one who's outside of the rest of the world, this one who's outside of the rest of the story, the centurion, the one that has driven the spikes into Jesus' wrists, who gets it right. When the centurion who stood facing him saw that in this way he breathed his last, he said, "Truly this man was the Son of God. Truly this man was God's Son." The centurion gets that God works in different ways. We're entering into a holy week. A week in which God proclaims through Jesus Christ and enacts a new commandment, a commandment of love on Maundy, Thursday, who stoops and washes his disciples' feet in the role of a servant. We're entering into Holy Week in which the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the one whom we proclaim, Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, ultimately goes to the cross on Friday and dies. But it's out of that cross and out of that death that we proclaim with that centurion, truly this man is God's Son. God works in a different sort of way. Through death, restoring life. Though all hope seems to be lost, though hope may seem to be dying, God works to restore and to bring hope to your life and to mine. So that we don't have to say, who is that guy? Who is that one that either failed miserably or was so very successful? We ultimately find our identity with that centurion and saying, truly this man is God's Son. And so we turn and say, I am a child of God. I am forgiven of the sins that I have committed. I am given new life this day. I am baptized, claimed child of God.